All right. Hello, everyone. I think I am live. How are you all doing today? Hope everybody's hanging in there. All right. Well, I'm going to be reading on political questions and world events, current event stuff. So if you have any questions you'd like me to read on, go ahead and write them in the chat. I will just say briefly a couple of announcements. Please make sure that you hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe. I think I'm 80 subscribers away from 20K subscribers. So help me to get to that goal. I would appreciate that. I want to thank Susan Lynn for letting me be on her channel last week. And we chatted about Reiki and did a really wonderful healing experience. And it was so nice to read all of the wonderful comments that people left. Feeling a lot better and just everybody's unique experiences with that. I will say that if anybody is interested in taking my Holy Fire Level 1 and 2 Reiki class, I have one spot open for my Saturday classes in March. So it's March 8th and 29th. And I have one spot open for my Sunday classes, March 9th and 30th. So if anybody's interested in that, I have all my information on my website. You can send me an email if you have any questions, or go into Susan Lynn's channel and watch her last live. It was a lot of fun. So I will be closing the enrollment for the classes in about a week and a half. So if it's something that you really want to take with me, like I said, I only have 2 spots left for that. So, and I probably won't be doing another class till summer. So. And I do believe for February, I do have a couple openings for Reiki sessions. If anybody's interested in that, you can book on my website, kevinlovingvibrations.com. For shows, I think Mel's going to be on the channel tomorrow night. I'll have to double check with him. I haven't chatted with him since last week, but that's the plan. So we'll get to more political readings tomorrow, hopefully. All right. So let me get some of these questions started. I see a lot of comments already. Thank you all so much for being here. And as I've said the last few shows, I haven't really been watching much of the news. I have a Reiki class this weekend that I've been trying to put my focus into. So I think for all of our peace of mind, turning off the news is so important. All right. All right, let's take a look at some of these. I wanted to start first with Ronnie says the new budget, will it be passed with a tax cut for the wealthy? Will we have a shutdown first? I am feeling the government shutdown in March. Unfortunately for federal workers, but it doesn't feel like it's a very long shutdown. But let's just take a look at that. I do believe the budget will be passed eventually after a shutdown. It's not surprising, but they want to cut all of these federal programs that people depend on just so that they can help pay for their tax cut for the wealthy. Now let's see what the cards have to say. Let's read first if there's going to be a government shutdown. March feels like it's a crazy month, though, and I have been saying that for a while, but I'm feeling a lot of protests. I think even some violence and destruction with it. It almost feels like that sense of civil war in the country. The people have had enough of this administration, so I see the people really fighting back. March Madness, right, Liz? All right. So is there going to be a government shutdown in March? Let's take a look. Oh. Yeah, there's definitely a fight, you guys. It's interesting because, you know, collectively right now we're the Ten of Swords, feeling a bit defeated, feeling backstabbed, betrayed, and all that disappointment there with the Three of Swords crossing us. All that grief and loss that we're all kind of experiencing collectively. You have the Fool coming in, which can be somebody acting very foolish. It can also be new beginnings on the horizon for us. Yeah, we're kind of in the calm of the storm, or calm before the storm. Well, I think we're actually in the storm, but I feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better. But then going to the final outcomes, we have the Eight of Cups here, which is walking away from something that's no longer serving us. Could be resignations too. The House. So the support, there's delays. There's going to be a short shutdown. I feel delays there because of all the fighting. And review and analyzing too. It might be a couple weeks. I'm feeling like it might be a week or two. Shut down. See though if they're going to get their budget passed. Yeah, I'll take a look at the special elections. Thank you, Nora. Absolutely, Emma says we need to all be shining our light instead of living in the fear energy. Absolutely, because, you know, our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs create our reality. So I know it's very disheartening and very uncomfortable, the energy that we're going through right now. But we have to do our best to really take care of our kids, you know, take care of ourselves and stand in the light. Those are the things that we want to attract, to create for our reality. All right, are they going to get the tax cuts for the wealthy in the budget? I'm feeling they're going to do their tax cuts for the wealthy again. I'm sorry, you guys. You know, meanwhile, the people that really need that help, they're going to be the ones that are suffering, while the wealthy just continue to grow their wealth. I had the Six of Wands come out, which is being victorious, triumphant. So I do feel like that's them achieving that tax cut. But it's really interesting too, because we're going to see two women really standing up against this and fighting for the people. They're going to be calling out the steal, you know, stealing our wealth just for the greedy 1%. Yeah, Trump maintaining the wealth. Yeah, I do feel like the tax cut for the wealthy is going to go through. Oh yeah, that could be Jasmine Crockett and AOC all day, any day. Yeah, that that definitely resonates. Strong women coming up and fighting for the country. Yeah, we know who they are. I think even Elizabeth Warren, I've seen her making some rounds in the news too. A lot of that fiery progressive energy. All right. I wish I had better news with that, you guys. But I just see the American people, and it feels collectively, the people going out to the streets and really protesting because Trump's just taking it too far with his agenda. And the people will fight back. Emma wants to know, will Elon have a episode due to his alleged drug use? For entertainment purposes only, you guys. I'm not feeling a physical episode, but maybe a psychotic break, a mental break. I'm not going to spend a huge deep dive on this, but I'll throw a card or two for it. I know everybody's we're all kind of going through this and it's not easy, but even though it is, a big storm coming in, I feel like this administration, I don't know how he's going to get out, but it feels like it's rather shortly lived. It doesn't feel like it's 4 years. It doesn't feel like it's 2 years. There may be some struggles within the next 6 months to a year, but I see things changing. All right. Is Elon going to have an episode? Oh, interesting. I told you before too, I think last week when I was reading on Elon, I feel like international courts going after him and their influence. It doesn't feel like it's here, but I almost feel him having to flee. It's interesting because I'm not necessarily getting physical health, but the root chakra is coming through. So being very ungrounded, feeling very anxious, feeling trapped in fear, and trying to, I don't know if, to me, it feels like he may have to leave the country is what I'm feeling with that. Something rattles him. Sacral chakra coming through too. It can be like kidneys. Maybe something with the kidneys going up. Probably shot from alleged drug use. I just seeing him desperate to kind of try to get out of a situation. To me, it feels more mental, more fear-based episode, not physical. All right. This is a good question, and I heard that Anonymous put out a warning against Trump and Musk, but Irene wants to know, is Anonymous and the good hackers helping us by slowing down the Muskrat minions or putting in false codes? I don't know about stopping that, but I feel like whistleblower. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, I agree. Emma says drugs like he's admitted to taking are extremely hard on your kidneys. Yeah, that was my first thought with the sacral chakra. But with the root chakra, it's like being stuck in that fear, being paranoid, feels more mental than physical, but it could take a hit on the kidneys. All right, let's see. Is anonymous? It's the energy around anonymous in the Trump administration. Let's just see that, see if there's any action that they take. I didn't see the warning, but I'd heard about it. They may try something to block them. You know, hack something and change the codes for like a guardrail. Oh, I do get action being taken. Right, let's see. There's plans there. Interesting. You have the Four of Cups representing them. There's an offer, I think, being handed to the American people, to the group that they're not satisfied with. So they're stepping up against the government here. Chariot, so like call to arms, quick movement coming in. There's going to be a lot more messages coming out from them. I feel it's financially related. So, you know, it could be like the Treasury, could be affected with like the Treasury, or, you know, the greedy 1%, you know, getting more and more money. There's plans in the works right now to release communications. Again, this is quick movement with it. 8 of Wands here. And it's going to lead some to retreat. They're going to expose the devil and all their corrupt plans. And they'll bring some endings along with it too. Interesting. Did anybody see their warning against Trump and Musk? Was it about the Treasury? Because it feels like there's something that they take on that feels like financial in nature, exposing some of that corruption. But maybe it feels like even some plans to act upon it. The decisions made last week. Thank you, Nurse. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if it feels like, I don't want to say that group is going to be what takes down Trump and the administration, but I do feel like they put some roadblocks in their plans for sure, and expose a lot that they know. It was about the Treasury. Thank you. Because that's where it feels like there's the push, you know, for the messaging, but then also maybe some action. I'll take a look at that later. Thank you, Colleen. So yes, they will get involved with it. And you said by slowing down. Yeah, it feels like they put some roadblocks in place. Interesting. Yeah, I did just see that Tulsi got in there. Sorry, you guys. Will she get false intel? I don't know about false intel, but I do feel like a lot of our allies are going to reassess the intel that they share with our country for their own protection. But I did hear that Mitch McConnell was, I think, the only Republican that voted against her. Yeah, something felt off about that, about, you know, her, RFK, and Kash Patel. I did feel like Patel and RFK Jr. would get in there, but it's interesting that they've delayed one of them. I think Kash Patel. They haven't brought up the vote yet. All right, let's just take a look at her. Oop, death card, first card out. So there is some kind of endings here. Hidden agendas with her in there. Well, that's not a shocker there, but some negotiation, abuse of power. I think our allies, I think people are going to be very careful with the intel that they give her because they see her as a threat in her hidden agenda. But I don't think she's going to be in there long, you guys. With the death card being the first card out, that's endings. Yeah, she's got a hard journey she's got to overcome. It's not going to be an easy road for her. Could even be like she's unable to make the proper decisions with the intel. She's not going to be in here long. You have the Five of Cups and the final outcome here. That's job loss. That's feeling out in the cold, losing security. I think a lot of information is going to come out about her. Maybe the things that she's doing in there. That leads to a tower moment. Yeah. Yeah, she's not going to be prepared to act in that way. And causes a lot of damage and chaos. I don't see her in there long though, you guys. Yeah, it's going to take the U.S. a while, I think, to rebuild our trust with our allies with the damage that they're doing. I agree, Sherry. She says, finally, Mitch does the right thing, but a little too late. He's the reason we're dealing with all this in the first place. I agree. Absolutely. I heard that he was in a wheelchair. I told you I felt like there was going to be more falls. I don't feel him finishing out his term. He's not doing too good. Yeah, it's a big lesson we're all going through. But as scary as it is and as unsettling as it is too, part of Trump's purpose is, to drain the swamp. Now he's bringing in the swamp and the corruption, but by exposing that, what we're going to be able to do afterwards is rebuild our country even stronger, and we will rebuild our country and our democracy, and it will prevail. I know it's hard to see that while we're in the middle of it, but yeah, he's exposing the filth, and that's part of his purpose and mission here. And I think also too, a lot of people take our democracy and our country for granted, and with it almost falling, it's going to, people are going to appreciate it more when it's all said and done. All right. Debbie says, do you see anything good happening for us in March? It feels very chaotic in March. Like I said, and it's scary too, because, Trump is just, he wants to be king. He doesn't want there to be any guardrails to stop him. And we're starting to see some of the states and courts, challenge his abuse of power with his executive orders and all of that. But it's going to push us into a constitutionary crisis. And, I feel at the end of the day, the courts, these blue states that are standing up to him, are going to be those guardrails that keep us in check, and us rising up to protest. I feel like a lot of protests. It almost feels a lot of fiery anger energy with March, Debbie. So it doesn't feel very good for us, but let's see if we get anything else with March. Oh, the Ides of March is the 15th, and that's when the budget needs to be passed. Let's see what the month of March looks like in the U.S. You have the Emperor coming in, somebody ruling with an iron fist. Queen of Cups, so a woman coming in. The establishment, support around Trump, all of the oligarchs. Plans to lead us to the past. It's fighting. I'm telling you, I feel a lot of unrest in March. Because of the steel, interesting. Maybe that's an election interference energy coming out too. The steel's crossing us, leading to fighting. Some of us will be celebrating. So maybe it's not all doom and gloom. The Fool, start of a new beginning. The Lovers. Interesting. So there is some good news, and I do feel like some things coming out in regards to the election in March, but it's going to lead to a lot of protests here. Like I said, a lot of fiery energy, a lot of fighting, a lot of conflict. Secrets being exposed, but then the message of being patient, things coming into adjustment. It's going to take a lot of hard work and perseverance here to pull it off, to change things. Interesting. The Hermit, so we're going to have to go within to find enlightenment. We're going to have to really take good care of ourselves. Justice is coming in for March, and then death, so changes, endings. We may see some good news in March, but it's going to be very heavy in the meantime. Let's see. Let's look at the IRS with taxes. Someone asked if I have a Siamese cat to my right. I don't have a cat. My dog is laying to my left, but he's laying under my desk. Yes, I agree. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Our taxes. I do feel like there may be slight delays with taxes, but I do feel like tax returns getting sent out. Yeah, money's coming out to help the families. There's a little confusion with it, though. And fights. Interesting. We're getting like the same cards over and over. I think the Five of Wands has popped up every card throw. They're juggling the resources. There's security above us, though. Yeah, it's gonna. I feel delays. Yeah, delays. Final outcomes to Hangman. But the it will be sent out. So yeah, I would say do it as early as you can. You might be waiting for a while for your return. Sylvia says, I'll owe the IRS this year, so I'm okay with delays. Yeah, me too. Me too. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate the super sticker. Well, and maybe if the government does shut down, it kind of backs things up too, I would imagine. All right. I was kind of saying this last week when I was reading on it, is that ICC coming for Musk in 45. I don't know about 45, what they could do to get him out. But Elon, yes, I do feel that. Emma says, I live in Humboldt County, California, where we had a 7.0 earthquake in December. And last night we had a 4.1, followed by a 4.5. I knew it was coming, but I still think a bigger one is coming. I do feel a lot more earthquakes, even volcanoes. I know, what is it? Greece is having a lot of earthquakes and a lot of activity with their volcanoes. And I do feel like there could be an eruption there. Doesn't feel like it's catastrophic, but I definitely feel like there's energy. It doesn't feel like it's right now, but maybe within the next few months there could be an eruption there. But I do continue to see earthquakes on the West Coast. I'm feeling like 6.5, maybe 7, which is pretty strong, but it doesn't feel like it's, and a 7 can cause a lot of damage too. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but it doesn't feel like it's too much stronger than a 7. I do feel some earthquakes in Mexico. I don't know about tomorrow, Sidewinder, but yeah, I do feel like there's more activity in the Central America. Didn't one of the islands just have a big earthquake too? Yeah, and I mean the earth activity is going to be very rampant. Absolutely. Yeah, Kilauea is erupting again. Yeah, could even be a volcano in Alaska. Doesn't feel like it's part of it's technically the West Coast, but feeling more pulled up north with volcanoes. And I know like the Santorini, I do feel energy around that. Maybe even Italy. Okay, Emma's been getting the earrings. It's interesting because I actually feel it in my stomach when there's a lot of earth activity, like the earth energy being released, and I haven't been feeling the best with my stomach the last few days too. So I would not be surprised if there's another big quake coming very soon. All right. Pegasus wants to know, will the military do a brief coup of their own to end the Orange Menace? I'm not necessarily picking a military coup, but I'll throw some cards on it for you. I'm not picking up Mount St. Helen, Kathy. Mount Etna in Italy blew recently. Maybe, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get kind of dizzy when the earth shifts too, but I feel it in my stomach. I feel nauseous. And I feel that ungrounded feeling in my feet, like the earth beneath me kind of dropped and it hits me right in the stomach is how it comes through. I do get a little bit of like a download with it though, like the ringing of the ears too, and lightheadedness. Yeah, there was a 7.6 in the Cayman Islands. That's what I was thinking of, Trini. Thank you. Yeah, and there's supposed to be, you know, all of these winter storms. I hope everybody stays safe with that. Stay warm. I know on the West Coast they're worried about landslides in California because there's supposed to be a lot of rain. So, yeah, the solar plexus warns me too, Anna. All right, is there going to be a military coup to end the Orange Menace? This is unrelated, but I just saw a lot of fire, but it was like an explosion happening. I don't mean to scare anybody, but I think somebody just asked in the chat about any terrorist activity, and I saw an explosion when I saw that. I don't know if it's in the U.S. It doesn't feel like it's in the U.S., but feels like it may be over in Europe. Hope I'm wrong about that, you guys. You know, Trini says she's picking up New York. See, I wasn't necessarily, I was feeling like maybe Europe, like I felt like maybe Paris was what came to my mind. Well, that's interesting. There is some action. It's interesting because you have the tower coming in here, which is an implosion. Something going on with the government that implodes because of, this is my whistleblower card, intel coming out. And it's going to ignite that fiery action against whatever damaging information this comes out. And there's a world response to it too. Two of Wands, but in this deck, you know, you can see the globe on the bottom. I have Donald Trump. There's some kind of theft or taking some kind of money there that leads to action, quick movement, communications. I get, you know, because of this, he'll be out in the cold, and the truth will prevail here too. There's insight coming in, clarity. You know, that Knight of Wands could be some kind of military action, but to me, it feels like it's more intelligence coming out, exposing a lot, and a world response. Oh, Susie says, let's take a look at that. I didn't realize Germany's elections were this weekend. We're going to use a different deck. Oh, wait, just a couple more questions, you guys, and on some messages from Spirit. Like I said, I believe Meldor will be on the channel tomorrow night, so looking forward to that. Always good conversation and predictions with Mel. All right, Germany's elections. Interesting. And maybe this is where some of that illumination on the interference happens in our election. I do feel like it's going to be okay. It's going to move forward, but there is things coming to balance. The hangman, which could be delays looking into it. You have retreat of the votes. You have the Seven of Swords, the thief, the steal. But there's illumination here that leads to endings. So they may try to steal it. But I feel like they're quick to act upon it. I don't know if they redo it, but they're definitely looking into it. But I'm not necessarily picking up Germany going, towards the right wing. They may try to influence it again, but there may be some good intel that comes out of that. Now somebody says the election's not this Sunday. When's the election? On the 23rd? Okay. They're warning Elon. I'm sure they are. Sabine says our voting system's very different in Germany. They're gonna try to steal it. I'm just telling you, but I don't see them being successful with it. And maybe that's where the international courts get involved with Elon too. Because I saw that last week and was picking that up today too. No problem. It's all good, Susie. I wasn't sure of the dates myself, so. No, I mean, I do worry a little bit about our northern friends in Canada because I feel like they may be going a little bit more right wing whenever they have their election. But I don't see Germany going down that path. There's going to be information that's exposed from their election. We can take a look at that, Buffy. I'll say I read on it and I did not feel like there was going to be action taken to have the U.S. take Gaza, even though that's what Trump's saying. I felt like the other Middle Eastern countries would not tolerate that. Dakota said so. The Saudis said no. Yeah. All right. Is there a response? Is Trump going to issue a response if the hostages aren't returned? I mean, I think what Trump's doing is he's blowing up that whole ceasefire agreement is kind of what I'm feeling with that. There is some kind of response here, though, because you do have, I mean, the Five of Wands keeps coming out. This is roadblocks. This is obstacles. It's not the most actionable card, but you know, he's going to try to rule with an iron fist, and there is some kind of action taken here with the Chariot. It doesn't feel like it's, I mean, it may be some kind of military action, but it's not involving, you know, getting our troops down there to take it over. I'm not picking that up. A lot of review and analyzing, I think, their contracts, their agreement. Communication coming in, I think, to settle down the situation. It's going to take a lot of hard work, but feels like it's okay. But he may do something stupid. Yeah, I know that's what BB wants calling. You know, it's going to definitely, I don't think he's going to help the ceasefire. I mean, that's for sure. Well, must be arrested anytime soon. I got the Temperance card. It takes some time. But like I said, I almost felt him trying to flee, to get away from it. And him and Trump are going to have a big falling out too. So he's trying to run away, to hide after that. But I'm not getting like super soon, Meg, unfortunately. I just heard May, so maybe there's some action taken there in May. Or charges brought in May. All right. I think I'm going to end it there for questions, you guys. Let's just take a moment and throw some cards, ask what Spirit wants us all to know, how they can guide us. Vinny, move. Move. Oh, sorry, my dog was right under my chair and he didn't want to move. He was taking a nap. Let's just see what positive message Spirit has for us all right now, or how we can manage through these tough times. All right, we have the variance card here. Let's find the message in the book. All right, so the message is the differing perceptions of ego and the soul. Today you may not feel like yourself. You and your soul are looking at the same thing, but seeing it differently. Your emotions and reactions are a combination of your thoughts and your soul's thoughts, and when they don't align, you feel wobbly. Variance is a way of explaining the wobble. When you have the same perspective as your soul, things feel right. They may even seem satisfactory and easy. No limiting beliefs or patterns are triggered, but there's a feeling that all is well. Your soul will never join you in judgment, blame, or hurt because it's not the truth of you. It is not the perspective of love. How you feel reveals how aligned you are with your soul. If you are experiencing something that doesn't feel quite right, take a breath and come to your center. You will begin to feel better, inspired to navigate your inner radar and be ready to receive your soul's transmission. And I think that that's a really good message, especially when the energy feels so chaotic and turbulent right now, is really kind of tapping into yourself, that self-reflection, or even meditation, finding that hope, that love within, and then, sharing that with the world. I know it's hard with everything else going on, but I think that that's a good message for us all, and how we all feel. Kind of something just feels off. This deck is The Secret Language of Light. It's an oracle card, and it's a wonderful deck to I like to use it where you're at on your path, or messages from spirit, but it has wonderful messages and even meditations and journal work with it too. So it can be a good a good deck for your own spiritual reflection. They're saying not to give up. Follow your vision boldly. Now's not the time to give up, even though it may feel hopeless. Allow that fear or anger to push you forward, to act upon what you want to create, for your reality. Colleen says The Simpsons predicted Trump was thrown out and Kamala comes in. Just saying. Interesting. They've been right on a lot of things. Throat chakra, which is all about expressing our truth, that, communicating our power and our truth with the world as a way to act, upon what we want to create, to stand up against the dark forces. For one or two more cards, you guys. We're getting the hematite, which is all about grounding. For me, I actually always carry hematite on me when I do my readings and my work, because for me, it just feels, it's like a magnet to the earth. It just pulls me to the earth. So make sure that you're grounding. It's hard with the weather being cold, but connecting to the earth. Pull one from here too. So hematite can be a good stone for us all right now to stay nice and grounded. All right. And we'll end with a postcard from our spirit guides. Oh, I love this. A dragonfly, you are magic. The postcard is, Dearest you, there are times when loss is a part of life. Sometimes a loss is a welcome, like when you leave a situation not in alignment with your highest good. Sometimes a loss is sudden and painful, like when a loved one crosses over to our dimension. Regardless of the nature of the loss and your control over it, your experience is asking to be acknowledged. Tears are necessary, as is grief. When you repress the natural expression of loss and try to move on too quickly, the unprocessed pain haunts you in destructive ways. We don't want that for you. Instead, let your heart break open wide, feel the loss and integrate it. See the beauty that was, the lessons learned, and know that as you let go of what has passed, even more of you remains. It gets better, we promise. Your heart expands with more compassion for the world than ever before. Love heals all. We are loving you, sending you love, always and forever. Although that's a beautiful message, and I think one that a lot of us need to hear right now too, because we are in a sense of, a sense of grief and loss. But don't allow that loss to hold you back, to give up that hope. Take the time that you need to feel that, but then it's time to act. To stand in our power and speak our truth. All right. All right, you guys, I'm going to end it up here for today. 1,400 people watching. Thank you all so much. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And like I said, I have 2 spots for my Reiki class in March. So if anybody's interested in that, the enrollment for that's open for another week and a half. So it will probably fill up in the next couple of days if you're interested, okay? All right, sending you a lot of love. Hang in there. We're going to get through this. I'll see you all soon. All right, take care, everyone.